Right now, I just want us to go into Arman, and bear in mind there are two levels of Arman. There's a more advanced level which we shall do in another lecture. But I want us to get some basic stuff here. Let's get some basic stuff going here about backing up, restoring database, and let us understand the concept of Arman. Okay, Arman or recovery manager, which we call Arman. Okay, you got Arman, which is actually the recovery manager, is actually a utility that is used to manage backups. Okay, and Oracle recommends that we use this utility called Arman. All right. Remember that there are other methods of backing up databases, but Arman is a utility that is well integrated with Oracle, and it has a lot of options. Okay, diverse options, advanced options that makes things, you can perform more tasks with them than you would with an ordinary, man-made backup. All right, and there are some concepts you must understand about backups. You have backups that you know that are simply backups that copy the database at that particular point in time. Okay, and you have backups. Okay, let me just quickly do this stuff here. Very brief. Okay, you might have two different needs. Okay, when you validate the needs of a company, you have to validate one, whether the company database deals with transactions. Okay, or whether it's an online transaction processing company, OLTP database. Okay, now these are databases like that contain applications like that which you see in the bank, all right, where every second of the day the information in the can change and information can be very important. Okay, those kind of databases, normally you want to recommend that you have a backup not only of the database, okay, but also of the archive log, right? These are databases where you want to make sure you have the possibility of restoring the database to any point in time, all right? Maybe something happens by 1 o'clock yesterday or 1 o'clock today, you want to bring back the database to that state, or you want to restore the database to the way it was some moments ago, you want to restore it somewhere else so that you can make an analysis to see what happened. Okay, so those are the kind of databases when you talk of a restore point in time. You have to understand the business logic of the company to see whether this is necessary or not. Now you have certain type of databases where you have, which are normally decision-making databases like data warehouses. Okay. Now this kind of databases are actually static by nature. They are databases that are actually, the data is derived from transactional databases. Okay, these databases are normally used for analysis, databases used for reporting. Okay, these are databases that normally don't have transaction upon them. Okay, and if anything happens to this database, you can simply, restore it back to the last full backup. Okay, or you can reconstruct the data using various processes. All right, and I want you to understand that when a database is in archive log mode, the database is much more busy, much more active than the database that has no archive log mode. The performance normally of the data warehouse will be better off than the performance of the database that is in archive log mode. You know why? Any operation you do, like an insert, an update, any DML statement, all these things have to be recorded. Okay, they have to be written out to redo logs and then to archive logs. Okay, so there's a little overhead anytime you have a database in archive log mode. It does more work than a database that has that's not in archive log mode. But generally, most databases will be in archive log mode. All right, except you see that it's not important. Whether you lose data up to a certain point in time or whatever. Maybe it's sufficient for you to just have the database the way it was last night or the way it was over the weekend or whatever. All right, so you have to understand that the database can be in archive log mode or no archive log mode. Okay, and based on these settings, you can know the type of backups you can make. All right, when your database is in archive log mode, you can make backups of both the database and the archive log. Okay, but if the database is in no archive log mode, you can make backup of only the database. Okay, and normally that kind of backup is made when the database is in a consistent state. Okay, either it's it's in a mount position. Okay, where we are assured that there is no activity, no transaction of activities occurring when the database is open. All right, so right now we're going to look at the ways we're going to set up our backup. And remember, RMAN is a utility that comes with every database without even installing what we call the catalog. RMAN already exists. Okay, you don't need a catalog, or rather a dedicated schema to back up a database with RMAN. All right, because if you do not have what we call a catalog, which is actually a schema dedicated to backups, if you don't have an RMAN catalog, what happens is that the backups are registered in the control file. Okay, the control file of the database records backup details. Okay, all this could be data files, archive logs, system change numbers, and everything concerning backups is actually stored, within the control file. All right. But the danger of using the control file is that if your database gets corrupted or lost or destroyed, there's a tendency that you could also lose your control file, all right, particularly if you don't have a backup. And the control file is not as flexible as having what we call the RMAN catalog, all right? Now, what is an RMAN catalog? It's very simple. I have a database, all right? And what happens that within a database, I can define a schema, okay? And what is a schema? A schema is simply an object space that is owned by a user within the database, okay? Every user has a schema, although in the real world, many of these users have an empty schema, all right? So I can call my schema, let's say RMAN user, for instance, okay? And under this schema, we create a catalog, which we're going to show you how to do, which will have various tables, various views, various procedures, various triggers, various constraints. And in reality, it's simply a schema that records all the information concerning the backups that are registered within that catalog. Okay? So what happens here is I have a database, okay, called my database, my DB, all right? And my DB, what I as the system administrator will do is to register this database inside of this catalog. All right? I have to register this database inside of this catalog. Okay, and after that is done, I can now launch backups. And this one will now become my target. Okay? My database will now become my target. Okay? My target, and the RMAN catalog is now going to become the catalog. Okay? So what happens is that every backup I make, every information concerning the database, the state of the database, the SCN, everything is recorded in this catalog, all right? So the catalog is aware of all the backups, it is aware of the locations. At times the backups might not even be on the computer, the backups might be on a tape, it might be in a media, it might be on another machine. But RMAN is aware of the location of the backups, and RMAN, the RMAN catalog is aware of the location of the target. And the RMAN catalog is aware also of the state, the health status of the database. So at the end of the day, the best practice will be to have your RMAN database or the RMAN catalog database on another machine, okay? Not on the same machine. Like for instance, this could be a computer that is far away in another location. And I'll call this computer A. Okay, and this other one where I have my DB, my little DB, will be on another machine, and I'm going to call that machine computer B, alright? So it's best practice to have your RMAN catalog database on another machine, okay? And you have to configure this tool so that my database is able to connect to the RMAN database using the TNS or the Oracle Net, whatever configuration. Normally, you create a string that will connect directly to this catalog, all right? And you now begin to do your backup, all right? If something happens and you lose this connection, even when you make a backup and later connect back to this catalog, that's what they call a resync. A resync means that all the information in the catalog is copied, and all the information in the control file is copied to the catalog. Okay, that's what they call a sync. Every information that is stored in the control file is copied automatically to the catalog. So we're going to do some very fast demonstration here, practical stuff. First of all, we have created a database. I've created the database already. If you go on the machine and you do, let me just get it clear this stuff here, and I say ps minus eaf clear. ps minus eaf grep pmon. I have a database called Arman cat, okay? And Arman cat is already created. So what I want to do here, I'm going to connect to Arman cat, and Arman cat is owned by Oracle. And I'm going to go into Arman cat, and I'm going to create a new schema. All right. And this new schema is going to be called Arman underscore Tiegaga. All right. And I'm going to create a table space for that, which is going to be the default table space. And also, I'm going to grant the recovery catalog owner to the Arman user. All right. Then I'm going to go to my database and I'm going to set the parameters called the DB recovery file dest. I'm going to set it to something that I want, and I'm going to also set the size of the DB recovery file dest. Okay. Then I'm also going to change my database to archive log mode, and I'm going to register my database with the catalog. Okay, it's a step-by-step process. All right, now, so I'm going to open a new window. I'm going to connect as the owner of the database, which is Oracle. Oracle is the owner of the database called Arman cat. Okay, let me do that. Please close the stuff here. Let's duplicate session. Clear. Su minus Oracle. I'm going in as the Oracle user. And I'm now going to set my environment for the Arman catalog, which is called Arman cat. All right. I'm going to enter into the database. All right. I'm now into the database called Arman cat. So I'm going to create a table space. Now I'm going to also create a table space for all of the students with the name Arman underscore your username, so that all of you can connect to the catalog and create your objects. So I've created a table space called Arman underscore Tiegaga in the Arman catalog. And I'm going to also upload this script, this file up, so that you can just copy and paste. All you need to do is to change Tiegaga to your username. So I'm going to now create a user called Arman underscore Tiegaga, and I'm going to give you the password of Arman underscore Tiegaga. All right. Now I'm going to grant recovery catalog owner to this Arman underscore TA Gaga. All right. So now we are ready to go. So I'm through on the side of Arman. I don't need to do anything there again. What I need to do now is to connect to my I'm going to connect to this database as TA Gaga. First of all, I have to create what we call a connection string. All right. I'm going to create a connection string to that database. Okay, we know it's the same machine. We know it's also, we also know the name of the server. Okay, let me see if I have anything defined in the net. Or because I could just define it manually. TNS names.aura. Okay, there's nothing defined. So I'll just take the wrong way. Let me just quickly new session. Okay, I'm going to load. I'm going to change. Okay, everything is set. I'm going to change this to TA Gaga. Okay. I'm going to open it. Is my Xmin gone? Yes, it is. So I'm going to say okay, I'm entered as TA Gaga. All right, now I'm going to make these settings bigger. Appearance, font. So I'm going to run the net configuration assistant so I can create a new connection string. Okay. So while the GUI is coming out, what I'm going to do is to fast, because we don't have much time. I'm going to run, and I'm going to set the appropriate parameters for the recovery destination, SQL Plus. All right. If you see the parameters, show parameter recovery. Oh, what am I doing? Okay. So what you do normally is to make a directory under your Oracle, your home. Now, your home, remember your home is your own personal home, so you don't have problems. And I'm going to use this directory. No, sorry. That's wrong. It's supposed to be make dir. All right. Minus P. So that's been created, all right. And I'm going to now use this parameter, this command here. Alter system set db underscore recovery file dest to this value. Okay, you should just use this value. Actually, if you want, use it in your, because automatically it creates another directory under this directory which will correspond to your database name. It tells me that it is not, because this paper is not valid. Okay, it tells me I have to put the size first. Okay, it's all right. So I'm going to set the size to 20 gigabytes. All right. Or let me just make it a bit bigger. Let me make it 50 gigabytes. Remember that if this thing gets full, if you have more than 50 gigabytes, or if you get to 50 gigabytes of the space occupied, with backups or whatever, your database will stop. So you have to be very careful how you manage the space. So now let me set the directory. So now it's gone. So if I run that command again, what does it show me? Now a value has been set. Okay, this directory must exist, and I put 50 gigabytes for the size of the fast recovery area. So let's go back here. Let's configure local net saving method. Okay, I wish it could be faster. It's not fast, and I just copy it somewhere from somewhere. You know what? Let me just copy it from here. Let me just copy this one here. See what I'm doing? So I'll just change the name to what I want. You don't need to waste time. This thing can be done manually. Okay, so I exit here. I'm going to go under the Oracle Home Network admin. And I'm going to say VITNS names .aura. I'm going to paste what I copied. Oh, sorry. Okay. But I'm going to change the name now to Arman Cat. Because that's what we call our database. Okay, the port is 1521. Okay, try to create this under your own Oracle Home, your individual Oracle homes. Okay. Tell me want to exit? Yes. Waste my time. All right. So let me say TNS ping. Let me see whether I've got it right. Armancat. Okay, it's working. All right. So what I'm going to do now, let me change my database to archive log mode. Clear. Or we could just, let me see, register the database. 1 minute. Okay. Yes. Don't forget you have this document up there on the web. So let me change the database now to archive log mode. I just have to shut down the database. It's not something that can be done when the database is in. Okay. Shut it down. Shut down immediate. Are we there? Startup mount. Now I'm changing the database from no archive log to archive log mode. Remember, when you have your database in archive log mode, always remember to have a backup procedure in place that will not only backup but also cancel old backups. Otherwise, you block your database. When you leave your database in archive log mode and you don't backup, database becomes blocked. This was what the problem Edafi was having. Okay, alter database archive log, then alter database open. Okay, when the database open, now you can check your archive log list. Now this documentation is will be uploaded, so you can always see it on the archive log list. Now you can see it has been enabled. It's in archive log mode, and we're now using the recovery guest. Okay, so all my backups should normally go under this directory. Show parameters notice that when I altered the system to create the flash disk, notice that it created a directory called tgaga under the directory as specified. Now, if you ehime is to define your recovery disk as this, it will create a folder here called ehime, and under here you have all the backup and all that kind of stuff. All right, so right now we have the database in archive log mode, and I'm going to connect to the catalog through Arman. Okay, now Arman, the target is your database. Okay, and the catalog is where you have your Arman, the database or the location where you have your Arman catalog. Remember, we defined it under Arman underscore tgaga, so I'm connecting to that and using the, okay, so it's now connected. So now what I can do is to register database. It says it's failure that the recovery catalog is not installed. Where did we go wrong? Yes. So I'm going to say exit. Let me just connect to the Arman. You can connect directly to the catalog. Okay. I can say create catalog. Now, what is the catalog? I told you it's a schema, diverse objects, tables, views, everything that help to manage the backup. Okay. So it has now been created. So right now I'm going to connect back to the database. I have my target, and I'm going to now register this target. Register database. So database is now registered, all right? So the easiest, let me get out here clear. The first thing you should do when you start off your backup cycle is to make a full backup. You don't make an archive log backup first. Make a full backup first, because without a full backup, your archive log is useless. Okay? Your app catalog will contain things like insert into, delete from. But if you don't have the database, what is it inserting into? So I'm going to first connect once more. Connect to the target. Okay, you could put the password, the username and the password if you wanted to of your admin, of your sys user. Okay, and all that kind of stuff. You could create a user with the sysdb privilege who is dedicated to backups. All right, that's what we do in the industry. Because normally you will not connect with target in the real world. If your script is scheduled, for instance, you want to create a user and a password. So the first command, let me just say backup. Now, if I do a backup, first of all, show all. Now you have to be careful to observe this. Yes, you have to be. Yes, you have to make sure you configure this to an appropriate name. Now, what this one means is that the retention policy is to have only just one backup. That's what it means here. In this case, because it's one. This is the default. So when you configure backup, you have to be careful to come and change this thing. Because your company might ask your managers, how many days or do you want your backup to be saved? Okay. Normally you should have a backup that for the whole year. Then you should have a backup for every month. Then you should have a daily backup. And that daily backup will actually be overwritten or can be destroyed or can be cancelled after maybe 2 weeks, after maybe 1 month, depending on how much space you have and depending on the needs of your company. Okay? So right now, let me get something done here. Okay. So we're going to change the recovery retention policy here. Just 1 minute, please. Here. So the best option normally you should configure it to use what we call the recovery window. All right. And normally you should put it in terms of day. So I'm going to say policy to recovery window of 7 days, for instance. Okay, this is a small computer, so let me just say 7 days, meaning that automatically a backup that has lasted more than 7 days can be cancelled. If the space is filled up and database recognizes that backup that is older than 7 days, it will cancel it because I've given it the possibility. Okay. And notice I did not set anything, in terms of device types and all those kind of stuff. Right now, the default is disk. Okay, but we're going to do a quick backup, the simplest type of backup database. Okay. And what the backup simply does is to back up the data files. Okay. Because data files of the table spaces, they are backed up and they are kept in a bundle and stored under the recovery destination. Okay, let me just quickly go to that recovery destination here. I open another window, change directory. Now, notice that all these are the automatically generated when you make backups under the flash directory. See? And also, when the backup is made, the default is also to back up the parameter, the control file. Okay, show all. Notice that let me see, control file backup. Okay, configure snapshot. The snapshot is normally created, and there's also configure auto backup, control file auto backup on, meaning that every backup you make automatically there's what, a backup of the control file. That's very important. And without the control file, if you lose your online control files, without the control file you cannot do anything. So it's very, very important. All right, so if you look at the summary of the backup, you notice that at the end of the backup, it backup not just the control file but also the SP file. Very important, because with the SP file you know how to recover your database in case everything has been lost. Normally, let's face it, in the real world, even after you've done a backup, your backup is better off on another location than on your local disk. Alright, so here we are. Now we just created a backup. Now we also have to follow with a backup of the archive log, isn't it? Backup archive log. And what does it do? It makes a backup of the archive log. Backup archive log. It's going to make a backup of all the archive log. And automatically what it does is to save it in the recovery destination. And I can see at the end of it, it also does the backup of the control file and the SP file. Okay? So in case of a failure, I can always restore the control file, start up no mount, then now restore the control file. Alright? So there are many other options. Now I just want us to learn something. If, for instance, you want to specify another location for the backup, okay, a location that is not the recovery destination, okay, there are certain things or certain commands you can use, okay. Remember that you can use what they call the allocate command, the allocate channel command, or you can use the format command to format the way your backup is made. All right, it's very important. I'm just going to give you a very fast one here. All right, just as another user. Okay, let me get out as a I'm going to look for a directory called workdir here. Okay, I'm going to change to Arman. Okay, and the permissions here, I'm going to go backwards. Arman, I'm going to give this the maximum permission for everybody to work here. 77 Arman. Okay, sorry, 777 is the maximum. I can just go in there and create my directory and do whatever I want under this folder. So I go in here, pwd. All right, so what I'm going to do for my other page, I'm going to create what we call a channel. Okay, you can actually beat the default values of your Arman session by using these channels here. Okay, I hope you know how to get this stuff out here. Okay. Allocate channel. Can call it anything you want. Type disk. Okay. Like I say, backup format, backup database plus archive log. Okay. Then I can say format. As format will now make us to beat the default. And I'm going to put these are variables that are used by Arman. Arman is going to interpret it, give the name of the database, the seed of the database, and all of that. So archive. Okay. All right. Full. Okay. Now I'll now say release channel. CH1. Okay. Now close the string. Where did I go wrong? Release channel. So I didn't put the command sign. Normally, you just want to copy this thing somewhere in a file. So anytime you want to use it, because you're prone to make mistakes again and again. So let me quickly go under that directory and see whether there's anything happening there. See, a backup is being made in another location. Okay. See the name of the database. That is the D parameter. Now, what is the problem? 1 minute here. Okay, sorry. It created the. Okay, I understand. Sorry. It created the backup, and that is asking. You wanted to now create using the same format. Okay, I understand. I'll make it more. 1 minute. It's a world of trial and errors, eh? You have to be very, very specific. 1 minute there. Okay. Okay. So I'm going to make this one now. Archive. Backup. Archive. What are you thinking of? The boss? 1 minute, back color on. 1 minute, then okay. So what it's going to do here is to create two files, one for the database and one for the see, it has created two backups, okay? One for the database and one for the archive log. That was what that command was all about. I hope you can see it. All right. So I want you to try out this command that I just gave you. All right. And let me see here. Try them out and make sure you know how to also list the backups you have. List backup, okay? This one shows you a list of all the backups. I could say list backups if I have lots of backups. List backup completed, you know, have minus, let's say this one is 0. I don't know where I take the fraction here. 1/24. 1/24 is after 1 hour ago. You know, because you have in a day you have 24 hours. So I can just look at the backups that was made after. Yes. If you go, for instance, now to say, of course, the database has not been up for so long anyhow. Let me see if I use this command with before. You see, there's nothing, no backup was made over an hour ago. So it's correct that it gives you nothing, you know. Now, with the list backup, you can actually see the details of what you want to restore. You understand? For instance, if you tell you to back up something that at so time, you can go back and look here and look at the time that corresponds to a backup. I can specify whether that restore is possible. Then you can run a command called restore database preview. It's telling me what is going to use to restore the database right now. If I wanted to restore it, it will list all the backups that are is ready for that to restore right now. It will not list the old only the backup that is specific. You understand? So it will tell you everything, you know. What is going to use Definitely it's going to use the last backup I made. Okay. Notice that it's using this one here. The one we made under custom the custom backup we made. It's not using the one under the recovery desk because this one is more recent. So he prefers this one. You know, I'll just say restore database until time 6date -1. You see it? I'm trying to tell me to preview how a restore will be if I want to restore the database to the way it was yesterday. But there's no way. You understand? Because there was no backup yesterday. You know, backup onto time 6 dates. You know what 6 date is? The current time now. So that is -1 day. So it's telling me that no, that's not possible. That you have to create everything, yeah, you know, by yourself. So these are some of the ways. This is the most basic of backups. All right, all right. In the second lecture, okay, we're going to go into various ways to restore, various ways to detect corruption. Okay, there are various utilities we use to detect whether a database needs to be backed up, and ways Arma will tell you the command to use to restore it. Okay, and these are not common, but I used it some weeks ago for the first time in the bank, and they were all around me. So it's very interesting. And what's there now? It's better.